FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Let me tell you what they say on the Arab street, at least, regarding this topic. You mentioned before that Israel might strike or conduct a strike against Iranian nuclear facilities. As a matter of fact, today, Ehud Olmert was in Germany, and he reiterated that Iran must be stopped and so forth. Now, there is a perception, this is on the Arab street, that the U.S. in effect is fighting a psychological proxy war with Iran on behalf of Israel. How true is this?
Well, it's clear that Iran's nuclear program is more of a perceived threat to Israel than it is to the United States. After all, we're very, very far away, and Iran is not exactly going to attack the U.S. with nuclear weapons. I personally doubt Iran would attack Israel. Israel has 200 nuclear weapons. It has submarine-launched weapons. It has a second strike capability. To attack Israel would be suicide. But what in Iran with a nuclear capacity would do for Iran, it would increase its prestige, it would perhaps embolden some of its proxies, its partners such as Hezbollah and Hamas would be feeling their oats, would be even more provocative in some ways than they already are. I mean, these are concerns, I think. And the former Israeli deputy defense minister said something very interesting a couple of years ago. He was asked why Israel fears an Iran with nuclear weapons so much. He said that it would frighten Jews from moving to Israel and would perhaps induce some Israelis to leave, Israeli Jews to leave, because they would perceive it as an existential threat. So the threat is really more demographic and psychological than it is real.
But it's not only Israel that would be impacted by this. The Arab states in the Persian Gulf do not want an Iran that is the obvious hegemon in the region because of its nuclear program. The Arab states in the Persian Gulf might not openly articulate their opposition to nuclear Iran, but obviously they're not going to stand by and allow Iran to become the clear dominant force in the region because of its nuclear. We know already they are beginning to talk about launching their own nuclear program. Saudi Arabia is talking about launching a nuclear program. Kuwait, Jordan, and part of the reason that I think the U.S. is involved in this, part of the reason, part of it is obviously Israel, but there are other aspects of it. It will lead to an arms race in the Middle East. It will destabilize some of the U.S.'s allies, like Kuwait, like Bahrain, like Oman. The Iranian regime, as Barbara said, will become more emboldened. Now they're worried about what the U.S. might do to them. If they are a nuclear state, they think they will have a kind of immunity from any outside pressure. And all of these things, I think, together make the U.S. Concerned. And the Europeans. I mean, the U.S., you might say the U.S. is run by Israel. What about the Europeans? What about China?